Thank you.
For more than 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter in our community. From our studios in St. Clair, you're watching Focus with Paul Dingeman.
Focus is back, and we've got a special surprise for you at the end of this segment. You better stay tuned. It's pretty fantastic. Hi there, folks. Welcome back to the Focus Show. We are here with a group of individuals who are doing some really good things for the community, and this year they're going to do it for kids in distress. The group is Kurt Slota from the Adair Bar.
Adair Bar.
Adair Bar.
Adair,
nice to
yep.
see you, buddy. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
You have been having a little thing that has now exploded into a big thing called Suckerfest, and this one's going to be Suckerfest 2018 at the bar.
Yep.
And the whole town.
Town
when
Adair.
is it this year? What's going on?
Suckerfest. This year's Suckerfest is on May 6th. It's on a Sunday. We have events all weekend long. We have a DJ party on Friday night. We have a poker run Saturday afternoon, which then rolls into our crowning of the Queen party at night, which is on Saturday, May 5th. And that's the night that we celebrate all the work of these hard girls here that have been working hard to raise money over the course of the last 3 months, and we have a good time that night, and we count up all the money and crown the Queen that night. So it's a good
How
time.
many years have you been doing this?
This is going to be the 16th annual Suckerfest. So
16th annual. You got a
16th
new charity, which is called Kids in Distress, and we've got that lady that founded it with us today, Jane Robinson. But so you are changing that, but everything else is going to stay pretty much the same.
Yeah, we're still going to have a parade. We're still going to have all the things, bands and music and food and beer and all the stuff that we've always
all the good
done.
stuff.
All the good stuff, all the things we've always done. It's going to be the same. We're just trying it for a new charity this year. We wanted to bring it a little bit closer to home here in St. Clair, where we're located, and we just wanted to try something else this year. So
Sitting next
spread
to
the
you
wealth.
is Darcy, the 2017 Queen, who was here last year of Suckerfest, and you've had quite a celebration all year, right?
Yes, I have.
Tell me about what the celebration was when you were Queen on the day. What happened?
It was very exciting because it's very tense, and you don't know if you're going to win, if you're not going to. I did run the year prior to that, and I did not win, so I came back, did it last
I'm
year.
going to get it.
I did, and I got it, and I'm still highly involved in it and helping everybody, and everything's for a great cause. It is. It's a lot of fun. All of our events, everything we do to raise the money.
And next to you is one of the candidates for Suckerfest Queen, Linda Salamone, like alimony. There we go, Salamone. And what got you to get involved?
Kurt, but then
The big guy down here.
The big guy down here I work there, so. But now that I'm involved, it feels really good to know that I'm going to help kids in the end with all the fundraising. So.
Good. How do you guys become Queen?
We have different events, and the more money you raise, each dollar counts as a vote, and each vote determines who wins the Queen.
Okay, so it's a money-based contest.
It is.
And you can stuff the ballot box.
It's kind of hard to do, but yes, you can.
It's encouraged to stuff the ballot.
It is.
As far as I'm
It's the
It's
one
more money.
election that is allowed.
Yeah, if you want to buy the winner, just get out your checkbook, write a big check, and you can make sure whoever wins how deep a pocket you have.
Down on the end, a friend by the name of Jane Robinson. Jane, nice to see you. Welcome back to the Focus set. When did you found Kids in Distress?
16 years ago.
16 years
So
ago.
it fits.
Nice.
Wow.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I've heard the story, but a lot of people haven't. How did it get started? You were a foster parent.
Yep. I was a foster parent. Got my first two foster children at 2 in the morning. There was 4 inches of snow. They had on flip-flops, shorts, and a spring coat. I had to take them to the sheriff, to the doctor, to the school, to everywhere. To me, the last thing I wanted to do was shop for clothes.
Right.
So, and they came with nothing. So, as it went along, I thought, well, I'll start saving clothes for people and this and that. And one thing, well, I grew from my husband's garage to the first barn to the second barn. We finally rented a storage unit in town. And then a friend of mine bought us a building. And he paid for it.
Just remarkable.
Continues to donate to it. And we've purchased a second building because we can take up 10,000 square feet with no problem.
Out of the garage.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a remarkable story, and it goes to prove where there's a need, it can be filled, and
It can.
you are filling it.
For me, it went from foster children, which I started with, to grandparents raising grandchildren. They don't get any state aid or federal.
Right.
Relative care, they don't get it. People that are working 2 jobs just to pay for a place to stay.
Right.
They can't afford to go out and get the clothes. And we try to keep the latest clothes that the kids are wearing, so it gives them more of an emotional connection, and they're not picked on at school. So
That's a really important factor with all the bullying going around in society. That's one part of it, and it certainly would be helpful if they had the right kind of clothes.
yeah.
Makes you feel good, doesn't it, be involved with something like that?
It does.
How is the fundraising going?
Fundraising's going good. We've had a lot of events. We started out Super Bowl Sunday. That's the first day that you can kick off raising money. We had a big Super Bowl party out at the bar, and Linda had a whole bunch of things for some 50/50s and some other stuff like that, stuff to raise money. So it started off good, and we've had horseshoe tournaments and all kinds of other events.
You brought along some pictures, and if Peter will throw some of those up, we'll go through them quick because there's a ton of them. But I think the people will get a feel for what the day is like. And the day again is Sunday, May the 6th.
Correct.
Starts at
Noon. The
noon.
parade starts at noon. You can start lining up at 10:30 out in Adair. The parade kicks off at noon.
Let's see
That's
some
when it takes
pictures,
off.
Peter. Here they come. Oh, they're behind you. You have to roll behind you there, Kurt. There you go. So that's some people. Just roll through them, Peter. Yeah, you got a huge
We
motorcycle
have
crowd.
bikes. We have some floats here from years past. We're not really picky on what dictates a float in Suckerfest. That was a float that my dad built back years ago. Big train engine, and then anything with a truck and you can stick people on. We have them with porta potties on them. We have them
Maybe with
just
with a little
four-wheelers.
glass of refreshment too.
Yeah, exactly. And as I say, you see here from the rafts, some people actually build floats and some different things, but it's just a good time.
A good time. How many people are in the? How long is the parade?
The parade is around a 7-mile route.
7-mile
It's a
route.
7-mile route. It goes all through the back roads and the country roads of Adair. The St. Clair County Sheriff helps us do it with the road closure and helps us guide the parade.
Look at the lineup. Oh my God.
But yeah. here's
Now
a
what's
big
the
lineup.
story here? How do you get in jail?
In jail? The jail is an event that we have every Suckerfest. And the way the jail works, it's set up in the parking lot, and you can pay any amount of money to put somebody in jail.
Oh,
We have
I like that.
somebody that runs the jail, and you can go up and say, hey, I got $100. I want to put Paul Dingeman in jail.
I want to put Jane in jail.
Yeah, and they take it, they'll put you in jail, and then you got to get $100 raised for
All right.
somebody to bail you out.
Okay,
So everywhere
all
you
right.
get put in for jail, that's how you got to
Okay.
get that same amount of money
All
to
right,
get
there's
out.
a couple people in jail
There's
there,
my
right?
dad. He gets put in jail all the time. I usually throw him in for at least 100.
Now you're inside in the famous bar.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
there.
inside Adair. You can see the Suckerfest picture in the background there,
Right.
the big fish in the background. But these are just some of the local people that come out. This Ron Eagle there.
What happened here?
Here, this is a guy was, I think he raised money to shave his head one year. They had some money raised for shaving heads, and so here's him getting his head
Yeah.
shaved. This is me crowning the queen. There's me crowning the queen. Here's us at the pie eating contest that we have every year. There's another person that was in the pie eating contest. He usually wins actually. He's pretty good. And then we have some other things that bring. There's a memorial and some other different people that bring things and set them up. And so yeah, here's
Yeah,
some
the
of the
county
band's
state-
playing. Yeah, we get the county sandwich from the Blue Water Parks Rec Department.
You're going to have that entertainment again this
Yep,
year?
we have-
Saturday,
we have
this
three-
week Saturday.
3 different bands. Nope, we have 3 different bands the day of Suckerfest, and then we also have a different band on Saturday night for the crowning of the Queen. So
Good crowd.
yeah, and that's just the outside crowd and the grounds, and there's the bar in the background, and we had quite a good turnout for it. So
What's the story on the caboose?
the caboose, that's another float that my dad built years past. Now it resides behind the bar. You can go in there and watch
You
TV.
look like one of the presidents of the United States standing
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
back there.
on the
you know,
back
having a
porch
good
there.
time. This is before I was ever involved in Suckerfest, so I'm back there just enjoying the day. You can see there's Lucky's Market there. There's a former queen right there. There's a caboose again.
Wow. Jane, you're getting involved in something pretty big here.
I'm excited.
Good for
I'm
you.
excited.
Good for you.
And they have it so well planned out. Unbelievable.
Great lady. She's really done some wonderful things, and it's exciting that you're going to support her. That's
We're
really
glad
good.
to be supporting them this
Yeah,
year,
yeah.
too. They've really kicked up a lot of volunteers.
You brought
and all
along,
that.
I've been saying for years, I thought suckers were little stupid little things. You brought along a surprise.
I did.
What is that surprise?
Today I actually brought a sucker with me. And we talk about it every year, what a sucker is. And today I actually brought a sucker with me.
I can't believe the
Here,
size
here.
of it. Get
This
ready
is
to
actually a little sucker.
Whoa, look at the size of that fella.
This is only probably about a 4 or 5 pounder.
Look at Tracy moving back.
Darcy.
Turn it on its side there.
Well,
Yeah,
here we go. Get a nice shot for the
Nice,
camera.
nice shot. Look at
You
that.
see the big lips on it
Oh, yeah.
and the big mouth on it? Yeah.
I'm not touching
Pretty
that line
nice,
with
huh?
a 10-foot
This
pole.
is one
Yeah,
we
yeah.
brought in for our sucker fishing contest, which is taking place right now. It goes to about a month and a half long, and people bring suckers in and we weigh them, and the biggest sucker gets paid out.
Cook them?
No, you smoke them. That's
Okay.
Yeah, you don't really cook them, but they bring them in, we weigh them, and then they can do whatever they want with them afterwards. So
Well,
it's a nice looking fish, huh?
you can take that with you when you leave.
You sure? I can leave it here for you. Take it home and smoke it. Just stick the tail in your mouth and light the other end.
There you go.
Now one thing. I have a challenge for you, Mr. Dingeman. There's an old tradition that we carry out in 8 Air. Okay.
Uh-oh. I'm in
And
trouble.
for years and years, we did a magazine, and on the front cover of every magazine, there was a picture of a guy kissing a sucker. So I'm here to challenge you here today. I will donate $100.
Oh, my God.
$100 to Kids in Distress and the Suckerfest cause if I can get you to give this sucker
Okay.
a kiss on
Are
the
we going
lips.
to kick it now, or do we have to get for a camera?
No,
Oh,
you
I'll
do
kiss
that.
it on the cheek. There you go, Jane. For you, I did it, baby.
Thank you.
It's for a great cause.
Yeah.
And here's $100
Oh, my God.
right here.
All
We're
right.
going to donate that to the Suckerfest
There we
Fund in the
go.
name of Paul Dingeman kissing
Thank
the
you.
sucker.
There you go. There you go. I'd shake your hands, but I don't want to.
Take my hands right now. Right here.
Well, I told you there'd be a surprise at the end of this show, and that certainly was, and I'm going to go take a shower. We'll be right back. There's a group in the Blue Water area that does a lot of great things. We're going to find out more about them right now. Mr. Marty you pronounce it. Habalevsky. Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you, Paul.
You are involved with a organization that's been around for a long, long time. 1892 it started, according to the notes here. Sierra Club.
Sierra Club.
Heard about it for years, seen it on PBS, but I didn't really realize that you were as active as you are in the Blue Water area.
Well, we've been around as a local group just for 10 years, since 2008. But Sierra Club, like you said, is 126 years old now, founded in San Francisco in 1892 by a very, very famous conservationist named John Muir. And John was a Scottish immigrant, came to the U.S. and discovered the redwood forest and the Yosemite and all those kinds of things, and just loved the Great West.
And he lived out there, and
He did.
He was instrumental in getting the park system going?
He did. He was actually, he convinced President Teddy Roosevelt, who he became friends with, and they went on a camping trip together. And after that conversation, we had national parks after a few years.
I think I stumbled one night when I was going through the clicker on the TV, a report on him and on the national parks, which was really, really interesting.
Very fascinating, very fascinating.
and how he got it built and all the struggles he had
Absolutely.
to get it up and going. What does the Sierra Club in the Blue Water area do?
The Sierra Club does really three things. We hold outings several times a year for our members and anybody that would like to join us, frankly. All of our activities are open to the public, and usually they're free, although some of the outings have like a $1 fee. We don't think that's going to hurt anybody
No,
to spend a dollar. But we have programs. We have speakers that come in 4 times a year to Port Huron, and they may be from all over Michigan or all over the Midwest to speak on subjects like climate change or solar energy or agriculture or marine pollution or water quality, things of this nature. And then the third thing we do is we actually are advocates for laws, if you will, to protect our environment.
The Blue Water area, how are we rating? Are we good or are we bad?
We're very good. As a matter of fact, if you know anything about the St. Clair River restoration, I think you do.
Yes.
That we've got high marks for that across the whole country for what we've done to make that river come back.
There's a group that's been on here on Focus called the Friends of the St. Clair River.
Absolutely. We love that group.
Okay, you're not part of that
No,
group.
I'm not a member personally. My wife is. But we do things in concert with them, and we think they do great work.
Okay.
Great work.
You've got an interesting thing coming up April 21st.
We do.
Noon to 4. What is it?
It's a bicycle ride. This is one of our outings. We do about 2 or 3 local outings a year. They might be walks or hikes. This one happens to be a bicycle outing. It's on Saturday, April 21. We're going to be starting out in Marine City, and we call this a slow ride. So it's not an endurance ride.
Okay.
It's a slow ride that's led by our wonderful outings director, Judy Lindberg, who lives in Marysville, Michigan. And she's going to take everybody on a very leisurely bicycle ride from Marine City to St. Clair and then back.
Oh, and back.
And then so it's about 20 miles total.
Okay.
And then there'll be an optional stop at a restaurant at the conclusion in Marine City.
And where it says the public parking lot at the foot of Broadway.
Correct.
On Water Street in downtown Marine City, so you can park your car there.
Yes.
And get your bike. And
that's our meeting place.
Then you'll go out to the bike path.
Correct. Yep.
That's a nice ride.
It's a beautiful ride, really. It'll be a beautiful Saturday thing. It'll probably take about 3 hours.
Okay.
So.
And you have a big.
It's family friendly. I'm sorry.
It's a huge expense to.
Yes, it costs $1. We charge $1 per person for all of our outings, whether it's a walk or a hike or a bicycle event, and that's to cover our expenses and to pay for a little liability insurance. And we do require that everybody wear a bike helmet.
Well, that's a good idea.
And it is family friendly, so
Right.
children are invited, and the whole family, any age.
Now, the Sierra Club, are you looking for volunteers?
We are always looking for new members and volunteers to help us with our activities. We only have about 4 regular meetings. They're evening meetings a year. We have about 3 outings like this that I described per year. And then we also do some advocacy work in the local community. We meet with our state legislators.
Oh, okay.
Next week, for example, on Wednesday, April 11, I'm going to Lansing again to meet with Senator Phil Pavlaw and to meet with Representative Shane Hernandez and our other local public office holders. They look forward to this. I look forward to it. And we think we're making some real progress, by the way, too.
Good.
Because the voting is really much better for the environment lately.
Is there anything that's up in the legislature now that the public should be aware of that's current, that needs our attention?
There is, and I'm really not, there's so many things right now. Actually, right now, there's a lot of discussion about the pipelines, that bring
Correct.
gas and oil. A lot of them are bringing that material to Sarnia, as you know. And Sierra Club is a member of a coalition that's trying to get the famous Enbridge Line 5 shut down, at least the part of it that goes underneath the Straits of Mackinac. There was a small leak, a couple of days ago.
Right, but I didn't think it was from the Enbridge.
No, it had nothing to do with that. It was actually
telephone.
It was actually a power cable, an electrical power cable that uses mineral oil as I guess this would be sort of like a what do you call that when you've got something around a
Lubricant of some
lubricant? Yes,
Okay. Well, how else can the public help the Sierra Club?
Well, the public can just go to the Sierra Club website, which is just sierraclub.com, and you can actually link right to the Michigan Sierra Club website and find out about all kinds of outings that might be within, say, 50, 60, 70 miles from here, because the Flint group does outings, the Detroit group does outings, and they may be very
I think we
interested
got
in
your
that.
Facebook page up now.
Oh, how about that? How
And,
about that?
that's
That's a
a-
brand new Facebook page for us, and we just established about 2 weeks ago. And if anybody has any other questions, they can always use our email address, which is 810sierraclub@gmail.com.
That's an easy
That's an
one.
easy way.
810
Sierra Club
at Gmail.
gmail.com.
That's
Correct.
good.
Mhm.
Well, I think you've maybe whet the people's appetites, but I love the fact that there's a dollar expense because nobody charges $1 for anything anymore.
And
so
we've had it at that level for 10 years now. We're going to continue it at $1.
That's great.
No inflation with the Sierra Club.
See you, sir.
Paul, thank you so
Very
much.
nice.
I really
And
appreciate
hopefully you keep our environment as pristine as it is. It's a full-time job to do that. So
It
we
is.
salute you.
Thanks so much.
We'll be right back. Great.
Well, that was good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that a lot.
And then
Yeah.
you got slides, you said, and. We are back, and we are with three fine gentlemen who are very active at the Washington Life Center's Veterans Club, and introducing down on the end, Paul Shaner. Nice to meet you, Paul.
Yeah.
And you are a retired Lieutenant Colonel from the United States Army.
Yes.
Nice to see you. Next to him is Bill Livesey, retired Command Chief Master Sergeant.
United States Air Force.
Nice United States Air Force. And finally, down on the end, Harold Danneels, right? I pronounced it right? Close enough?
It's close.
Close enough. Gunner's mate, LSM 145 from Iwo Jima. Just
Right.
amazing. About 73 years ago, you were in the midst of all of the terror and all the agony and all the terrible, terrible sights. Must have been amazing.
That's one of the hardest battles we ever had.
Yeah. And you were originally from Marine City,
Right.
and you went to service, and
When I was 17.
when you're 17, and now, and you come back after the war and stay in Marine City, or did you
Yes,
travel?
I
You
came back. to Marine
came
City.
back right to Marine City and stayed there until now.
Right.
Okay. Talk to me about what's happening at the Washington Life Veterans Club and what you've got tied together for the Iwo Jima.
What brought this all about was that my father, who's deceased now, was on a boat, a ship, an LSM 206, shoulder to shoulder with the vessel, the LSM 145, that landed at Iwo Jima.
Was your dad from Marine City too?
No, my dad was from Redford.
But ironically, as fate would have it, they were next to each other in two different ships.
Yes.
As they landed at Iwo
Landed
Jima.
their infantry on H+2 at Iwo Jima.
Just fantastic.
Yes, and I found that out, and so I had to get a hold of Harold. And what we're going to do at the center is present him with the citation, the original copy of the citation that was sent forward to get a presidential citation for the 14th Flotilla, which both these vessels were in. My father was a corpsman and had to go on the beach, and it was more than likely Harold was a front gunner, and the gunner's mate on the 145 was pumping rounds into the Japanese to keep them from being.
Over your dad's head.
Yes.
What a small world.
Yes, it was, and I find it quite remarkable.
Yes, absolutely remarkable.
Yes, I wish my father was alive today to talk to Harold.
Did your father, he didn't get injured at during the landing?
No.
And he served in the service for a while after?
Right, until the end of the war.
End of the war?
It was discharged. This is his pocket medical kit that he carried on Iwo Jima. And
So he was a medic.
yes, he was. It was a corpsman in the Marine. He was Navy, but they called him corpsman.
This is quite a kit. And on the back, you said, you showed me,
Yes, the unit he was with the 3rd Battalion, 23rd Infantry, or
here's the name
Regiment,
down.
4th Division, 4th Marine Division.
And this is just a real artifact. And he had all of his tools here. Wow. And he handed this down to you.
Yes.
Just amazing. Okay. Talk to me about the Iwo Jima.
Well, in a workup to go towards the Japanese home islands after the Philippines and Guam, the next operation was towards the home islands and Okinawa. The Battle of Iwo Jima was from the 19th of February to the 26th of March 1945. Its operational name was Detachment. That was a code name for that. And 110,000 Marines, sailors.
110,000.
110,000 Marines, sailors, and soldiers were a part of a 450-ship fleet.
Wow.
21,000 Japanese were heavily fortifying the island, an 8-square-mile island with caves and 11 miles of tunnels. They did this expecting an earlier attack, and they just continued to make it even more. Starting in June of 1945, U.S. air and naval craft had bombardment raids on Iwo Jima, and that went on for about 9 months prior to the landings. The assault bombardment started on D-3, which is 3 days before the operation, and encountered bad weather and rough seas, so the bombardment was not what the Marines were asking for. Well, promptly at 09:02 hours on Monday, the 19th of February, 4 assault regiments from the 4th and 5th Marine Divisions landed on beaches Yellow 1, Yellow 2, Red 1, Red 2, Green, and Blue 1. This was on the south side of the island.
Okay, we're going to throw up a picture that Paul brought along of the island. And you can see, there it is there. And you can see the landing craft were going in from the, would be the south?
The south, yeah, towards airfield
South.
number 1.
Airfield number 1. And as you mentioned before we went on the air, they had all those landing spots on the north side, but they never used them.
They were never used.
And so did most of the battle take place right along that shore?
Yeah, well, you know, and the Marines called it, looked like a pork chop. And they were down at the small inn where Mount Suribachi was, and that airfield was the prime location.
The Mount Suribachi at the bottom on the left is where that famous picture was taken.
Yes, yes, yes.
Tell me the story about the flag.
Well, the flag, this was, let's see, I think 5 days after the landing on the 23rd of February, a small band of Marines who were doing a recon and somehow were not attacked by the Japanese, got to the top of Mount Suribachi. One of the Marines up there had carried a small flag like a lot of military people did. They have the flag with them. And they got to the top and they wanted to show everybody down below, 500 foot below, that they were there. So they found a steel pipe, water pipe, and they attached a flag to it and put it up. And it was noticed down at Beachhead, and all the ships are sounding their whistles and horns. Well, somebody says, well, we need a bigger flag. So one of these soldiers, one of these Marines went all the way down through enemy territory down to the beach to get a larger flag from a naval ship that came back up. And an hour later, they raised that flag, which was the famous Joel Rosenberg
photo.
Yeah, photo. So that was the moment, and captured forever. Ironically, the 5 Marines that raised the first flag had 3 Marines that were killed later in action, and so with the second raising, 3 of those 5 Marines were killed in action on Iwo Jima. Just to say how costly it was, 6,821 Americans were killed in action. 19,217 were wounded in action during those 5 weeks that it was there. And the island was called secure on the 26th of March, but it was far from that because they did not know there was approximately 3,000 Japanese hiding in the tunnels and caves
Oh my God.
that would come out at night and cause a lot of havoc and casualties there. Probably, to show you how fierce it was, 22 Marines received the Medal of Honor. Of those, 12 were posthumous. 5 naval personnel, most likely corpsmen, received the Medal of Honor, and 2 of those were posthumous. This was a very bitter battle that was within less than a month, continued on to Okinawa. The Japanese approximately lost 20,000 soldiers there, and we hung on to Iwo Jima and returned it back to Japan in 1968.
Amazing story.
Yes,
Amazing
it was.
story. So you are organizing an event, right?
Yes.
And when is it?
The event is to give to Harold a
original.
copy of the original.
Okay. And when is that
I
date
think
going
that
to
would
be?
be the 12th of April at 6 o'clock at the Washington Life Center.
Okay. So we got to get people there and salute the efforts that you put on and so many other thousands of young men at the time. It's amazing. And what memories you must have of that?
Well, he's covered most of it. So how Bill, my brother, Bill was talking to Paul and found out I was at Iwo Jima. So to make the whole thing short, to find out his dad was on the ship hitting the beach at the same time I was. That's
Just
how we got
amazing.
to know Paul.
There's
Just amazing.
that shows 145, which was Bill's ship. Next to the 206 was my father was on.
She'll come over and we'll take a zoom in on this shot. But the ships, how many ships were in the C-400? You said
450.
Where did you form? Where did they form up? How far did they have to travel? Okay, there. The 2 ships. Here's the 2 ships, and you were on he was on the
145.
I was going to say I was on
That's the-
606.
And the other one is 206.
206.
I get my fingers going here. There's 206s over here. So you guys were that close. Obviously, you didn't know each other.
No.
But it's just amazing that you're that close, that far from Marine City and that far from home.
Yeah.
Just absolutely staggering. It really is.
Yes.
Okay. And in the background in this picture, you can see Mount
Suribachi.
So it's.
And
When we hit the beach, no, I guess I got that. When we hit the beach and landed, we seen the first flag go up on Montreal. And how they got up there, I don't know. But they made it to the top and got that flag. And like he said, eventually they worked down, got the other flag.
Got the bigger flag.
Got the bigger flag.
Just amazing story.
But, it was when we first got there, we were supposed to be there 3 days and then leave for Okinawa. Well, instead, we were there 27 days. Everything was built underground. So then, as the 27th day, the Marines go back out, the Army comes in and cleans up. Well, we couldn't go back to Okinawa. We had to come back to the States because we got shot up pretty bad. So then we got headed for Pearl Harbor. They couldn't take us. Too many ships. We had to come all the way back to Napa, California to be repaired.
Oh my God.
Now to make that trip, when we originally left San Francisco, when I left Golden Gate Bridge, it took us 11 days to get to Pearl Harbor. Now all
You're aboard this ship?
that ship. Then we did
200 foot.
We did the mock invasions on Maui. We went through this for weeks. Well, finally we got the order to leave. We were 37 days. Once in a while you might see that, well, there's a certain island over there. At night everything was dark because you're kind of the enemy. We finally got to Guam 37 days later, bouncing across it.
How did you have enough food?
Well, they took care of us. They had food. We were all set for food because on our ship we only had 58 men.
Okay.
Then plus the Marines.
Right.
See, I was with the 4th Tank Division of the Marines. So then we got to Guam. We couldn't go ashore. They fueled us up, put all the grub out. Nobody knew where we were going. So finally we got our orders. So that night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, the captain called us down in his quarters to show us where we're going to hit, what's taking place. Like he said, 97 days, we bombarded the island. 3 days before we got there, the battleship were, so it's starting to get daylight and you can see all the guns firing. Not realizing what was going on. I don't think we knew that they were fortified.
Right.
That's when hell let loose. And when we hit the beach, we went in on the second wave. The first wave was the soldiers, and we followed them in the same. We hit the beach. The men on shore were trying to use their own buddies for foxholes. We dropped the ramp. It was right on top of the body. There's nothing you could do. So that went on. So then our job was, after, go back out, load up 55-gallon drums of fuel, take it into the tanks and take the sick out to the ship. Well, you couldn't eat for days because some of their brains are hanging out and everything else,
Right.
you know. We had open wells there. And a lot of them were buried right at sea.
Right.
And it made you nervous. You look overboard and all that blood down there, and you thought, if I ever fall overboard here. See, a lot of these, I don't know how they handle that. See, a lot of them, they were wrapped in their hammock, put weights in them. They had to shoot with an American flag over them and shot them and buried at sea. So I don't know how they couldn't recover anything.
No, they were never recovered.
No.
So
They were difficult times.
on the third day, they just took bulldozers, just dug trenches, put the body in, put the name
Mark on
in
it.
there. That's how they did. I wish I had a picture of the cemetery. Where they
What was
buried.
the number of deceased again?
6,821 Americans
Just amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to have,
for 5 weeks.
I've got letters my father wrote
Yeah.
on Iwo Jima, and he describes some of the actions that Harold talked about and talks about the cemeteries at the end of the battle.
There's one of your dad's letters there.
Yes, it is.
That was handwritten, and then he had a couple that were typed.
Yes. And you can see in this one that been cut out by the censor,
Oh my God.
so you don't know what, that's probably Iwo Jima.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular letter, my grandparents sent him pictures of him, and he talks about that. But in one of the other letters, he talks about how he really felt about the battle in Iwo Jima. It's really revealing.
And all these letters will be on display.
Yes.
There's another one from your mom to your mom and dad,
Yeah.
his mother and father, on
Yeah.
March 26, 1945,
And
about
this-
the end of the battle.
Yes, and that's enclosed in that is where he has the one that he tells what the reality of the dead bodies and taking money from the Japanese and from the bodies
Yeah.
and uniforms and rifle.
Terrible, terrible times.
Yes.
There's April the 4th, 1945.
Yeah, see, there's a series of about, I'd say all his letters, about 60 letters,
Whoa.
not just from Iwo Jima, but from his enlistment into the Navy after
He was
Pearl
pretty
Harbor.
loyal at writing to his mom and dad.
Yes.
That's wonderful. All right, so it's April the 12th is at the Washington Life
Life Center
Center.
Veterans Club.
What time?
6 o'clock.
6 p.m. There's no admission charge.
No.
You got to come and salute this guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your brother will be there.
Oh yeah, Bill. I always call him. I introduce him. My older brother.
Your
he
older
don't
brother.
like that.
He
He's
doesn't.
younger than I.
I'll remind him the next time I see
Yeah,
him.
tell him you met
Really?
a younger brother.
Did we missed anything?
No, we could talk for hours on this, but this basically.
Well, we want to get
entails-
people to come. That's what we
Yes,
want.
Yes.
and there is a lot of things down at the Veterans Club Museum of all facets of American history and military. I would highly recommend it.
Okay.
Come down, and you can say, yeah, I remember my dad having that, or my brother having that.
When is it open?
It is open on the fourth Thursday.
Fourth Thursday of the month,
month.
or by request.
Okay. And they'll have information at the Washington Life Center
Yes.
to get a
Yes.
hold of you
Yes,
guys. So.
yes.
And Bill will be giving a presentation, and my letters will be circulated, and we'll give the
Yes.
citation.
Well, we salute you, sir, for your
Same to you,
service.
Paul.
Nice to meet you,
Thank
sir.
you.
And
Yes.
thank you for sharing the story. It's just really important in today's society to go back and look at what you sacrificed, what thousands of others
Our
sacrificed.
joke always was, a life bent like a flipping a coin.
Yeah,
There was no such thing as a life.
right.
That was it. If you're
Amazing.
lucky you came back. It wasn't.
Yeah,
They are not forgotten.
that's correct. That is correct. That is correct. That's about it for this edition of the Focus Show. Thanks very much for tuning in. Till next time, I'm Paul Dingeman. See you soon.
Thanks for watching Focus with Paul Dingeman. Focus is produced at the CTV Community Television Studios in St. Clair. For over 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter to our community.